So Dr. Gack, could you explain to the audience what your winning essay was about?
So my PhD work focused on one central part of the so-called innate immune response against viral infections, and that's the interferon response. In particular, I'm interested in the molecular mechanism, how actually our cells detect the viral infections, and then activate signaling cascades, which then finally result in interferon production. And I worked on one major sensor for several RNA viruses, including influenza viruses, called RIG-I. And we found one essential regulator for RIG-I, which is called TRIM25, which actually activates RIG-I so that it can function and lead to interferon production. And the second part of my PhD work was focused on viral evasion mechanisms, so how the viruses actually antagonize this response. And we found that influenza viruses, they have one protein called NS1, which actually target TRIM25 and RIG-I, the most important players in this interferon response.
And what attracted you to this particular scientific question?
I mean, in general, infectious diseases are a major problem at the public health level. So it's just an exciting idea to find ways how we can battle viral infection either through vaccinations or through antiviral drugs. And of course I hope that our or my findings maybe in the future can lead to the development of antiviral drugs, for example against flu virus.
What impact do you think winning this prize will have on your research?
On the research I'm not so sure, but personally of course it's not only an honor, but also huge, motivation for me to continue with my work in this field.
And why did you decide to become a scientist?
Science, simply, definitely will never get boring. And I think it's fascinating that you can come up with a hypothesis and then test this simply by conducting research. Most of the time, the hypothesis might not be true, but you can modify it, and this in total, just fascinates me in science.
And from your experience so far as a young researcher, is there any advice you'd like to share with other up-and-coming scientists?
Maybe two advices. I think the first advice would be to have fun, because I think it's simply very important to be enthusiastic and to have passion about your work. Otherwise, I think, I don't know if it will lead to a major success. And the second is don't give up. That's science. A lot of things don't really work out, but this can bring new directions you can go. And yeah, these two advices I would give.
And what changes do you think you'll see in your career in the next 5 to 10 years?
Changes, I don't know. Actually, I had already a major change this year. So I became a PI. I'm now a so-called independent instructor at the New England Primate Research Center of Harvard Medical School. So I want to continue to be a PI, having your own group. Now I have a very little group, but eventually it will expand. So these are my plans for the future.
Great. Well, congratulations and thanks for being with us.
Thank you very much.